Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How is everyone today? Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. I'm excited to work on this project. It is a project for Deb Houck, her collaboration using up a paper pad, but the rules are not too many rules, but the rules are any paper pad smaller than a 12 by 12, so 8.5 by 11, 8 by 8, 6 by 6, any of that. And we're doing a video once a month that's going to be posted on the 25th of the month at 10 a.m. And we don't have to use up the whole paper pad in one video or 1 month or whatever. So we're going to see what we can do with this paper pad today that I picked out. And, you know, I have a little bit of time here, so we'll see what we can get done. This is a piece from this paper pad here. Signature paper by Color Block. There's 50 double-sided sheets, and I showed this in my introductory video that I posted on the 10th of January. So you can see very beautiful, beautiful colors here. I love this paper pad. So let's see what we can do. I thought the first project, you know, I like to make journals, and this is the perfect size to make a traveler's notebook. Okay, so I already picked out a cover. I was going through this when I did the, you know, introductory video, and I found this piece right here. It says Beauty, and it just looks like a cover to me. So I cut it down, just cut a little bit off the bottom too, and when I folded this paper in half, it was the perfect size, like I said. So it's 4 1/4 across, and I cut it down to 8 1/4, and that's standard traveler's notebook size. In case you are new, I had someone ask me once, you know, new person to journaling or making journals or traveler's notebook, is it a travel journal? What is a traveler's? Why do you say traveler's notebook? Traveler's notebook just refers to the size, because there are covers out there. People use the covers, and you can fit this size in that cover, in the traveler's notebook cover. So that's what that, you know, standard traveler's notebook size, that's what that refers to. So like I said, I have my cover here, but it's not done. I wish I could leave it like this because I think it's beautiful inside, but I feel like it's too wimpy. I need some support here. So I'm going to cut down a file folder, just a plain manila file folder. And this is, like, I would say, I call it letter size. There's letter size file folders, and there's legal size. So I call this letter size. Let me just get it cut in half here. And then we have only, you know, half to work with. We don't have to have this big piece here. So let me get that. So I'm going to cut this down to fit my piece of paper here. So I'm just going to go like this. I want to make sure it's not too small or not too big, so I'm not going to measure. I could measure, or you could measure if you want, if you're doing this. But I just, you know, I can see myself measuring and then be like, oh my goodness, it's too small or too big. Too big I can cut down, too small, you know, then I got to get, you know, use another one. So let's just draw some pencil lines here and just make sure of our size. So I've got it nice and flat here so that I know it's the right size. And a lot of things I do from experience. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I've done this before. I've made it too short or too small, so I'm going to make sure it's the right size. I'm going to make 2 little pencil marks. And if this is, like, I've made the pencil mark under the paper, so if something happens and it's too big, of course I have another one. It's just file folder. But, you know, I would like to get it right the first time and not have to start over here right on video. So let's see what we can do. This is my paper cutter, my trusty paper cutter that I use at home. Here's my mark right here. So let's cut this piece. And I'm going to make, like I said, a traveler's notebook journal. And I always save my cutoffs, especially if they're a good size like this. But even strips you can do things with, and I can show you that later. But right now we're going to focus on this. So let's see if we made this the right size, or do we need to start over? Let's see, how does it go? Looks good so far. Oh, we're going to, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. And I want some strong glue on this, and I will probably come back and sew on this off camera, of course. I don't really, you know, my sewing machine is over there on a separate table, so I don't usually sew on camera. I mean, you know, it's not convenient for my setup. So, but I tell you and I show you what I sew. So I'm going to use some art glitter glue today and just get this on here really strong. I don't want any lumps or bumps under here. And let's see if I have my bone. I do have a bone folder here today, so I can use that to, you know, help my glue spread underneath and adhere properly. So let's go ahead and do this and see if we can do it right. Okay, so all around the edges, of course. So this is going to be like a craft with me today and tutorial. Grab your paper pad if you want to do it along with me. And what I thought I would do is do as much as I can, because I'm not going to be able to use this whole paper pad up on camera today. That's just going to take too long. So I figured I would just do what I can on camera and get us started, and then come back. And I'm not going to be able to wait until next month on February 25th to finish this. So I figured for this project, and maybe my project every month on the paper pads, I would get it started on the 25th, you know, when we're supposed to post. That's the rule, that we're supposed to post on the 25th of the month at 10 a.m. So I would get it started on the 25th, and if I can't finish it that day, I will come back that, you know, same month and keep working on that project. And I'm going to get a little bit more around the edge here and make sure, but this art glitter glue does dry fast, so you got to get it down and get your paper down before it dries. Okay, I've got it pretty much all over, little thin lines. That's why I like this art glitter glue. You can get it down all over, thin lines, or whatever you want to put, however you want to put it down, and it doesn't make any lumps or bumps under your paper. Let's make sure we're going the right way here. Yes, we're going this way. And so yeah, I will come back during the month and finish the project, and then start the next month, start a brand new project, okay? Instead of like carrying this on from one month to the next. I can't wait that long to finish it. There's no way I'm going to wait that long. So, new project every month. And then this one will be finished, you know, in a week or two after. I'll come back with videos to finish this project. And this was one of the projects on, just a tip that if you have a envelope punch board, you do have a trusty little bone folder in there. So let's see, let's use this side. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm excited about it. And this was, I was saying, this is one of the projects on my, when I took a poll and what kind of journals did you want to see made. This was the second most popular project that you wanted to see. As far as what I asked about journals made from books, journals like traveler's notebooks, and what was the third one? A cinch, kind of bind it all type coil bound journal, and then someone asked about a file folder journal. So this is kind of one way to use a file folder or make a file folder journal. There's so many different ways to make a file folder journal. There you see we have a nice flat piece, and I know you're seeing the extra around here. We'll cut that off later. Right now we're going to get a piece for this side, and I haven't done any like picking out of my papers yet, so you're seeing it right on camera. in real-time crafting, I would say, you know, what I'm doing here. So let's pick out, you know, we've got purples and the kind of vintagey looking. There's some script here and this pretty little name plate here, or title. So it doesn't, you know, like all of these, the thing about, the really cool thing about a paper pad is everything goes together, right? So let's pick out a piece for the inside that will go with this, that we like the best maybe out of this paper pad. Here's some cutouts in here. I mean, any of this would go. So, but let's see what we like best. Here's something with purple on it. That is a possibility. Let's see what else. Or just a vintage looking. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. That would go. Anything else that has a lot of purple? A lot of pinks here. Okay, so let's go back. I really love this one. For some reason, this one's calling me right here. And I can pull it out and not use it. It doesn't matter as far as what I pull out of here and don't pull out of here, because it's all going to be used in this project, right? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this was the other purple one. Let me pull this out too. Gosh, it is hard because these are so beautiful on both sides, so it is hard to glue a side down and not use it. Believe me, if you think it's hard, it is hard. Okay, so it would be like this on the outside, and then on the inside like this for this one. I don't know, I think I like this one best. It'll be like this. Yeah, this has got to be it right here. Okay, I'm going to cut off, well, I was going to say I'll cut off this little strip where the hole is, but I don't need to do that right now. I'll do that later. Right now, I just want to get this. So let's kind of like just stack it up here and make a little pencil mark right here where we're going to cut, where I can see it. Okay, right there. And we are going to have to cut it down around the edges, because this time I'm not folding it in half. I guess I could do it that way. Let me see for a second if I want to do it that way. Yeah, I could do it that way. Let's do it that way. That way we will not waste any paper. So this is the side we're gluing down, so we can mark on here. Let's do it that way. Kind of trying to use the paper pad the most economical way we can, so we can use our other pieces from this paper pad in whatever we want to make. Envelopes, tags, you know, journaling cards. Like I said, we're going to use up this whole paper pad. Okay, let's hope that's right. Okay, so here is, you know, we're getting it straight up and down, and it's going this way. Okay, so which way was it? It was this way. Let's glue that down. And let me just think for a second. We're going to add a pocket probably, but maybe a different color. Maybe the bottom of this we'll put down here. That's why I went ahead and cut it off. Now you could have folded up also, like if you wanted to, if you knew you want a pocket, you want a pocket here, don't cut it off. Put it like this, and then, especially double-sided paper, perfect to fold up, right? Like that. That would be pretty. In fact, I might want to do that. I think I'm changing my mind. It's okay to change your mind. I think I'm changing my mind. Okay, I'm changing my mind, guys. I am changing my mind, because that just looked really pretty like right now. Yes. This is what you do when you're really craft, right? I didn't plan this ahead of time. When you're actually crafting, you do things and you change your mind, right? As you're going. Okay, this is so pretty. I want to do this. Okay, like I said, I needed to cut off some edges, and I can see the edges here too. So that'll be perfect that I left that and didn't. So let's go ahead. We're using this whole piece here. We're not cutting any off this time. I've decided. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Now before I glue it down, I want to think about my pocket for a second, because I like to cut the middle out because it's just easier as far as getting things in and out of a pocket. So this is how I do it. I just fold the paper in half, not make a crease really. Well, you can make a little crease because in the pocket part, because you want to see where you're cutting, okay? So there's my crease just in my pocket part. And then I just make a little triangle down here, where you could say like you're gonna cut out a little Christmas tree right here. No certain shape, just a diamond, or not a diamond. It looks like a Christmas triangle or a Christmas tree, if you can see that. See that? Okay. So then you've got your pocket like that, and you are going to either sew. You can come, but we can come back and sew here. We will be sewing if I sew around the edges. See, that's what I like to do. I like to get my pages all together, my covers all together, and then as I sew around the outside here, say, you know, I said I was going to sew around this. When I sew around this, I'll also be sewing around this and the pockets all at one time. So you have, you know, you don't have to sew and then sew. You're just doing it all at one time and have one stitch all the way around. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this glued down. That looks good. I'm glad I changed my mind. You saw it. You saw it live right here. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. Right on camera. Okay, let's get some glue. So we're going to make the cover here, and then we're going to work on some pages. And then I'm probably going to run out of time, but my plan is to make this cover, and then I'll do the sewing off camera, and I'll come back and show you what I did with the sewing. And on camera today we'll do some pages from this paper, and then I'll add some pages if we have time today on camera. Right now we'll add some of the what I call the writing papers, and then I'll probably have to, it'll probably be time to turn off the camera, because I am doing this on, this is for tomorrow. We've got to have this ready to go and posted at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And I'm doing it today on Friday, so I can be ready. I mean, it's kind of feels like last minute for me, because, but I wanted to make sure of what I wanted to do. I've just been, you know, thinking about so many different ideas. I couldn't really narrow it down, and I said, I guess I want to make a traveler's notebook. That's my favorite thing to do, is make journals. So this month is going to be traveler's notebook. Okay, we've got a lot of glue here, and like I said, it's going to be sewn down around the edges, so I have enough glue around the edges to hold it down, but it's going to be sewn, so I don't have to, like, you know, put extra around the edges, because since it's going to be sewn. So let's make sure our cover is right. Sorry, I don't want to touch the glue. Okay, see, I had it upside down. You want to make sure you're gluing everything right side up, right? So here we go. We're right side up. Again, let's check. You know, you can be paranoid about this because you don't want to glue your pockets upside down. That wouldn't work out, right? So let's get everything glued right, the right way, not upside down. Okay, put your paper right up to the edge. Well, I had a little edge I said I was going to have to cut off. Remember how it was showing? So I'm going to let a little edge show on all the way around. But we're going to even it out, so don't, you know, don't panic. If it's, you know, you can cut all the way around here and make everything even if you get it glued down wrong. Okay, so let's get our bone folder out. Get this all glued down. Let me move this for a second. We are going to sew, but, you know, still want everything nice and flat. You know, you don't want any bubbles or anything loose. Edges all nice and flat. Okay. And at the same time you're doing this, you're still flattening out your, you know, your whole cover. So we are going to sew these down. It's not really necessary to glue these. You could, but not necessary at all. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut off this extra that we're seeing here. So I want a nice straight line. Let's see if we can do it on our paper cutter. Let me, oh, there's this little strip there. We're going to save this. Believe it or not, I usually do things out of the little strips, of course. I mean, a lot of people do. So let me just poke my pin back in my little art glitter glue here so it doesn't get dried out. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can cut off this tiny, tiny, tiny strip here. It's not really even a strip, it's a tiny sliver. And I'm only doing it on here because I can't cut straight with my scissors. I can cut straight, but not something like this. If I tried to cut this with my scissors, it would be crooked. So I know, I've tried it and I just cannot do it straight. So rather than take a chance of it not being straight, I'm going to cut it on here. Okay, yeah, we got it. There it is. It's a very small sliver. Okay, see, it's all gone nice and even on both sides. So that was perfect. Let's see if I can speed it up a little bit here so we can get some pages done today. So as you can see, it's going to take me some time to use up this whole paper pad. But like I said, I'm going to use it up throughout the month with this video being the kickoff. And then I'll number my videos 1, 2, 3. Video number 1, 2, 3, using up this 8.5 by 11 paper pad, you know, new series, and making the Traveler's Notebook, you know, videos that was requested in my poll. So you can cut the last little piece with scissors. There we go. See, now it's all nice and even. Let me show you how pretty it is. And we're going to fold this in half. Let's see, I already folded this before, so I've got a little crease there where I want it to fold, but all pretty, all the extra folder cut off, which was only a sliver. I just want to see how this is going to fold. I might want to make a little, let me grab my scoreboard here. I just want a nice fold. I don't want it to be all kind of weird on the fold. So on my scoreboard, I have another little bone folder here. And let me see if I can get this right in the middle. See, I have my line here. I just want to go ahead and show you how it's going to look folded. And we might put something on the spine when I have paper. I do like to put something on the spine outside, so I will put something here for reinforcement. But for right now, I made a little fold there so I could see where I want my line, because I already had the fold out here. So let's see if this works out. Hopefully it will. I'm going to place that little fold right in my groove here of my scoreboard and just lightly score down the middle so that I know where my fold is and I don't have a wonky kind of fold here. Okay. That is good. That's good enough. So let's fold it. It's pretty, this is pretty thick now. So let's go ahead and fold this. Okay, I'm going to fold it with our little bit, not, you know, I don't have to like make the sharpest crease in the world here, but just get a nice fold here with my bone folder to help me. See, it looks good. But I do like to put something over paper. I don't like to leave just paper if I don't have to, and I will put something here. I have some beautiful, I think I still have some pretty purple lace that I can put there, and that'll be perfect because this is lacy too, and that'll make it nice and coordinated. So there's the inside so far. Let me push this down with my bone folder here. Get it all nice, make sure it was starting to not pull up, but just look like there was going to be a wrinkle there. So get it flattened out, and you know, our glue still might be drying under there. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry, and there you have our cover. So let's make some pages. And let me get this out of the way. Put this back in here so we don't lose it. Let me see what time it is. That took a while, didn't it? I'm sorry it took so long. Okay, so we've got this left, and what we need to do is measure and make sure our pages, when we fold them, are all going to be inside of this cover. So they're going to have to be a little bit smaller than 8 1/4, or you know, 4 1/4 wide. I'm saying 8 1/4 because 8 1/4 or 4 1/4 doubled is 8 1/2. So this is 8 1/2, but we need to make the pages a little smaller so they're not sticking out by the time we fold them and put them in here. So here we can use this piece that we were going to use on the inside, and then I changed my mind. Let's measure and see what we can do here. And really, I don't have to pick out, I mean, I have to pick out pages, but I don't have to be too picky because these are all coordinated. I can just go through here, pick out, you know, some pages and be done. So I think I'm going to make them, let's see, how do I want this one? I think I want it this way. And right now, this paper is 8 1/2 by 11. It says right on the front cover, 8 1/2 by 11, and it is telling the truth. It is 8 1/2. So I think I'm going to have to cut it down to 8 to make sure it's not sticking out of there. And I'll show you on this one. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off of each side of this paper and erase my mark. I made a mark on here. Let me erase that. When we were going to cut this. We were going to cut this, and then we didn't, so I made a little pencil mark here. Okay, so I want to keep this border even, so that's why I'm going to cut it a 1/4 inch off each side, and just make a little mark here at the 1/4 inch, a little mark here at the 1/4 inch. The rest of them will probably be easier. But since these are pages, we are seeing both sides. So I want to make them look as pretty as we can. So this will be an example of, I'll show you when I put it in, what I'm talking about as far as, you know, sticking out the side or not sticking out the side. And if you're experienced, you know what I'm talking about. But, you know, a lot of things I'm saying are for the new people, because there are new people out there, and you know, when you've done this for a while, you kind of take it for granted that everybody knows everything, but the new people don't know everything. So you know, we have to kind of do these little craft with me or tutorials for everyone, right? So there we go. Another strip. Now let's see how we did. I think we cut it this way. So let's fold it, go ahead and fold it in half. And these, you know, since this is just one layer, you don't have to use your your scoreboard. You're just 1/2, boom, you're done, right? Okay, let's see. Let's see if we need to cut off any length. So here is our cover, and see, we do need to cut off some length. See that? I don't want to cut off any of this pretty bottom part. That's our border. So I'm going to cut off, it looks like about 1/2 inch there. So let me go ahead and measure 1/2 inch and see if it actually is, and let me cut off 1/2 inch. And then we'll know for the rest of the papers, yes, I need to cut off, once I get my, you know, width, I need to also cut off 1/2 inch. I think it's right here. I also need to cut off 1/2 inch for the length, you know. So my pencil mark is right here. Cut that off quickly. Okay. And now let's see, because we want to make sure that's enough, because when we sew this in, like that is perfect as far as, you know, there we go. But when you sew it in, you want, I like to have a little bit of room. I don't want to be like, oh, you know, I have to have these perfect, or they're going to stick up or stick down past my cover. And when you're sewing in, there is a chance that, you know, you try to get everything perfect, but if it's right there, when you cut it, it's right there. You could have everything as perfect as you think you want it. You sew it in, and then, oh, my paper's sticking out. So I like to have a little bit of, you know, leeway, I call it, so that I don't have to like be, you know, like paranoid that my papers are going to stick above. So rather than, we measured 1/2 inch. That's why I measured it. I want to see, is it actually going to be, is 1/2 inch actually going to be right? So I'm going to say, 3/4 inch, because I think we need that other 1/4 inch to come off. Okay, so let's do it one more time. So from now on, we'll know 3/4 inch off of that piece that we cut down. Okay, and we'll see if this works out. But I think this will be perfect. We'll have a little leeway. See, it wasn't that even that much. We'll have that leeway on the top and the bottom, and we won't have to like be like freaky when we're when we're sewing it in. See, it still looks beautiful, but you have that little bit of room on the top and the bottom for safety, so you don't go. For me, it's my safety. It's my safe zone, so I don't go over the top and the bottom, and that's how I like it. It's not coming out here or here or here. Okay, so let's cut some pages. I only have about, I have about 20 minutes right now. So let's do this, see how many pages we can get cut out of here. Now I only want, say I want 20 papers. When you fold them in half, that's 2 pages, or if you count fronts and backs, that's 4 pages, right? But I want 10 papers. The rest of the papers in this traveler's notebook, I like to put 10 papers like this, like scrapbook paper or whatever, like pretty papers I'm using, and then 10 writing papers, okay? And it can be less if you think 20 papers is too much, and I might get to where I make 20 papers and I'm like, oh, this is way too bulky. You can cut it down to 15 papers or 10 papers or 16, 11, whatever works for you, you know, in your traveler's notebook. So let's pick out some papers here. These two I might save for future covers because they also have the dream on here. These two right here. This one I can use. It has a little tear in it. I don't know how I did that, but somehow I got a little tear in there. I'm going to see if I can use this one as a page. Actually, you know, I probably won't be able to because it has this. I might just have to cut this one up and make an envelope or journaling cards. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see if we can get 10 pages out of here. This one would be good, but there's 2 of each one. See, I don't want 2 the same, so I'm going to skip. I don't want all pink either. Let's go to a different color here. Black is fun, and this one has pretty butterflies on the back. Okay, let's see what other colors we have in here. Here's one like we used on the inside cover, so since we already used that one, we already have a black one, and, you know, like a solid black one. Let's pull out, let's go, skip one more, let's pull this one out. That's 3. So this one is different from this one. Let's go ahead and pull one of these out. That's 4, I think. Let's pull this one out. 5, 6, see what else we have back here. Not that many left. 7. Let's see there. No, I didn't pull that one out yet. 7. Let's see about this one. This one could be good. 8. 9. Okay, and this is the drilling card, so we need one more. So let's get one more from the front part where we had all the pink. This is pretty right here. Let's do this one. We didn't pull out one of these. Okay, we've got our 10. So let's cut these down. So, let's see how quick we can do this. Okay, so we said we measure here. I'm going to need to cut off, you know, a little bit on each side. I'm trying to see if I need to cut off, if I can just cut it off one side instead of doing the all over thing. I think I'm going to have to play it by ear. So this one, I think I can cut it off one side. This one, this one, this one. This I might cut it off both sides. This one, one side, one side, one side, one side, and one side. Okay, just the one is got like a frame where I want it to be cut off evenly on both sides. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can do 2 at a time here. And so we measured, we took off about 1/2 inch. So we cut, you know, we cut 8 inches. So let me make a little mark up here at 8 inches. Because we took off 1/2 inch on the width of each page. So let's cut these down real quick. See how fast we can get our 10 pages done. Okay. 2. Let me get a space I can write a mark on, because, you know, that one was black, so it's going to be kind of hard to make up a mark on there. Okay, again, 8.5 or 8. We're cutting at 8, 2 pages at a time to save time here. Got some glue on my fingers from gluing just now. That's 4 pages. Now you can cut them at different sizes too. You don't have to make them all the same size. These I'm making all the same size. And a lot of times it just depends on what kind of pages you're putting in. Today we're using up a paper pad, but if I'm just using like book pages and things, I just do all different sizes, you know, and make it more junk journaling with different variety of sizes. Okay. Let's see. So this, as you can see, this is only going to take a few minutes here to cut our pages, and we'll have 10 pages done before this video is over, I think. Okay. So all of these are 8 pages, 8 inches wide. Move it up here a little bit. Glue on my finger drives me a little bit crazy, sorry. I could get a wet wipe out, but that would take time, right? Okay, now we've got our 10 pages, except for that one that we needed to, did I cut that one too? I think I did, oh well. So much for cutting quarter inch off each side. We just got it done. Okay, so now we are going to cut it. Let me measure actually. Let me measure this one. So these are, this one is, actual size is just a little under 8 inches. I was thinking it was shorter than that. Good thing I measured, right? Just a little under 8 inches. That's what it is. A little under 8 inches. It's like on the first notch. You know what I mean? Like 1/8 of an inch off the 8-inch mark. So let's see. I want to make sure I have the part of the page that I want on these pages. So I'm going to probably do one at a time. So this might actually take some time, but 1/8 of an inch up from the 8 is going to be right here on this, and that's what I want to cut. I want this lady to stay, and let's see if I can get another one here so we can cut 2 at a time. Yeah, this one will be fine. I can cut this one at the same time. So let's do it. Then we'll only have 5 cuts if we can do 2 at a time. And then we'll fold them and see what we want. Now we can think about pockets now too, okay? So as far as pockets, I do like to have plenty of pockets, really. So let's think about pockets for a second. What pages would be good to have pockets? Let's see, this is, yeah, this goes like this. This would be pretty to have a pocket with this one. Then I get to keep more of the page. Let's go ahead and fold it up where I would want a pocket. Something like that. Let me cut this top part off because I don't want that little hole there. I don't want that in my measurement. Okay. So cut that off. And then let's see where our 8, actually 7 and, what is it, 7? Just above that 8, 1/8 up from 8 inches goes right here. So that'll give us our length. Yeah, just where I was folding it. Okay, so let's make a little fold mark there right on my mark and fold up. This will be our pocket on this one. So we used the whole page on this one pretty much, except we're going to be cutting a little bit off the sides. Let's go ahead and measure this way on this one. We made it 8 inches wide. You know, we already cut our width, so we're good on that. So that was ready to fold, except I'm going to do the little thing again. So we're going to have pockets inside the front cover and back cover. We'll have pockets here, and I'll do at least one more page with pockets so that we have 6 pockets. And then we can always do tuck spots, which will be either glued or sewn on later. You know what I mean? So right now we can finish cutting our pages and not worry about that, the tuck spots. There we go. Okay. So we're going to do one more page with pockets. Let's go ahead and pick that out so we don't forget to do our pockets. And I might have to stop this soon. I've got 15 more minutes, so what would be pretty with pockets? This one is the one that says dream on it, and I think we only picked out one of each, right? So that one, not that one. This one would be pretty. Oh, what about this black one? That could be neat. Let's see what it might look like. This one, I'd probably fold this way and see what that might look like. I think I like this black one so far. Let's see if there's any more that we might want to make into pockets. This one, oh, this one. Yeah, I might do this one because this is a plainer color, and when we fold this up, it just really adds so much to it. And so let's go ahead and do this one. I like this one. Again, we're going to cut off that little part with the hole. We've already cut our width, so all we have to do is get our length. And so our length is 8 inches. Right here, we'll make a little fold right there. No, it's just above the 8 inches, 1/8 inch above. Okay, fold that up. I'm trying to get it even there. Okay, and then get our pocket. Our little triangle. Okay. There we go. We have all of our pockets now. From the bottom, we can make side tuck spots or side pockets or whatever later. Let's go ahead and cut these down. Let's see if we can cut 2 here. Let me cut my little holes off the top. And then our 8 inches. But under 8 inches. When I say 8 inches, I don't mean 8 inches. It's the 1/8 above 8 inches that we're cutting our length. Okay, all my scraps up there. I know I have my pages going the right way because I have all my holes on the top here that I'm cutting off. So I would just say, you know, I mean, at this point, you're not really, I don't think you can do it upside down at this point because you're just cutting your length unless you want a certain part of the paper. Like say, this one doesn't matter, and this one doesn't really matter either, but if I find one that matters, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because this is all just one pattern on these 2 papers anyway. And we're going to use all these scraps later as we're using up this paper pad. Okay, let's see if this one matters. See, I just want to keep the bottom because this one has the pretty flower in the corner here, and you know, this one actually has more on the bottom. So I would say, you know, if you're deciding between cutting off the top or the bottom, on this one I want to cut off the top. Okay, so that's the only concern I have in cutting these pages, top or bottom. In here, and off that little circle, a little hole, whatever. Okay, now I said I wanted to cut off the top, so let's do that. This time, going down, we've pretty much been doing, well, see, now I got to do it the opposite, this way. Just under that 8 mark. Cutting off the top on this one instead of the bottom. I'm going to make sure I got it on the mark there. I think I did. Okay, now we're ready to fold our pages. And we'll have our 10 scrapbook pages. So you can just fold them in half. And then later on when you're putting your book together and you're like going through and making sure everything's where you want it before you sew in your pages, and you see a page like you've done it like this and you say, oh, I want this one like this, then you can change it like, oh, I want it like this instead. So don't worry about that. Right now you can always change the direction. But right now I'm just going to fold them in half and see how they look in our book. And then that will be this video. That will be all I have time for today. But that's my plan with this paper pad, to use up this paper pad, is to make this traveler's notebook, make some journaling cards and envelopes and tags to go with it. And then we'll see what we have left. And I think I will probably have enough left to make a second traveler's notebook. So that's my plan. Hopefully to make 2 traveler's notebooks out of this journal, out of this paper pad, and see how that works out. I have a little dotted line here from where I cut off that. I could leave it, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off from where I cut, you know, where you cut off the little strip at the top. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off. If it doesn't really bother me, but I just, you know, I just want to cut it off. So there we go. Got it that time. Let's see, are we doing this right? I think I moved this around too much. I think I need to see what direction we're going in here. Just make sure. Got it going in the right direction. Yeah, it goes this way. Yep, it goes this way. Okay. Doesn't hurt to check, double check, and triple check. Make sure you got it the way you want it, right? Okay. These are beautiful papers, that's for sure. That's our pocket page, one of our pocket pages. Did it work out? Yes, it did. Thank goodness. I mean, it's just paper. If you make a mistake, you know, you can always cut it up and use it for something else, right? And make another page out of the one that you messed up. Another pocket page. But there's Our Lady in the bottom right-hand corner. Now these are not in the order I'm going to put them in, because I have, right now I have the pockets right next to each other, and they're not going to be next to each other. But just to show you how this looks for the moment. and how much this is already. See, I'm probably going to have to see as you do your journal and make your pages, each one, you know, comes up a little bit more. It just stack, you know, when you stack it, each one comes up a little bit more. And so you can see this sticking out here. So I go through page by page. I go through page by page and cut, you know, cut it down even with the first page. Whatever I want my first page to be, I cut it even with the first page. But for right now, we don't have time, probably don't have time to do that. And we already have this page in here, so let's just see how it looks. I mean, you could leave it if it doesn't stick out and it doesn't bother you. See, it is already starting to stick out a little bit though, right here. You can see it coming out. And you're gonna have 10, you know, I plan on having 10 more pages in here. So that would really stick out by the time I get 10 more pages in here. It's gonna be out another little 1/8 of an inch or something. So I'm gonna go through and just take page by page and cut a little sliver off here and get these all even, okay? But this is going to be really pretty. You can see it already looks beautiful and have some beautiful pages in here as far as scrapbook paper, and then the writing pages. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to go and sew now and make the rest of my pages. And then I'll come back to you and show you the sewing, the pages, and what I'm doing, okay? But that's how you make a traveler's notebook. And out of a file folder. And I'll go back and look at the poll and the person that asked me about a file folder. If you're watching this, if you can tell me, because there's so many different ways to make a file folder journal. I was wondering, did you need a smaller one? Did you need one with you know, there's ways to make a pocket with the file folder. You know, you fold it, you fold the file folder in half, or even triple it, or fold it up, you know, things like that. So there's just so many ways to make a file folder and use a file folder, because it's basically cardstock. And so there's so many different ways to use a file folder when you're making a journal. But that's it for now. And so that's my plan for using up this paper pad. You see how much we have left. So if I take 10 more pages out of here I mean, let's just do it real quick. Let me see how much time. We've got like 3 minutes to make an hour. So if we take 10 pages, this one is cut apart. We're not going to count that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we use some for envelopes. If we make 2 journals and we make, say, 4 envelopes, 1, 2, 3, 4, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages left. We might have to make 3 traveler's notebooks out of here. So we'll see about that, because our cutoffs, we have all of these cutoffs here that we made today. All of these to make tags and journaling cards. And we'll have all of this from, if we made 2 more traveler's notebooks out of this paper pad, we'll have the same from all 3 traveler's notebooks to use up. So we'll see about that. And like I said, I'll be coming back to you, and this will be a new series in my YouTube for this month, and until I use up this paper pad. And next month, on February 25th, will be a brand new project with a brand new, probably a 6x6 paper pad next month, just to tell you what to look for next month. So if you haven't hit the subscribe, hit that so you'll be notified of my next videos. And I have 2 or 3 other series that I'm working on my YouTube. So just hit the subscribe and the little bell, and then you'll get notified, hopefully. Or you can just look for me, you know, on your travels through YouTube. So I'll see y'all next time. This was fun, and I think it's going to be really pretty. And again, lace is going to probably be on here. So I'll be back to you with what I do. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, and happy crafting.